Groaners! Well, here we are on the cusp of Christmas with episode 165. The jolly old red suit dude will be visiting us soon. Have you all been good groaners? Me? Well, I've tried to be a good host this year, aside from late episodes, etc, etc. The Christmas special is right around the corner. But, more importantly, what games will be played this week? You've got Gimme Da Question, the 5-point countdown, talking nonsense, and admin Nicole's Anagram anxiety. Hayley T of War's End is your audience groaner this week, and she emailed hers in. It is time. Let this groany episode begin with my groans. Cringy adverts. Now, I know a lot of you, like across the water, may or may not have seen this advert because you all get different adverts. But if you know what I'm talking about, look it up and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Cringy adverts. This isn't applying to Christmas adverts, although some of them in recent years have been bloomin' terrible. No, I'm talking about medication adverts. There's one on YouTube and the radio now where the cast sing a list of things that can cause you issues medically. On the YouTube version, it's worse, because the cast grab their backsides and end on a high note going, diarrhea, ha! I mean, who in their right mind felt that was a good idea? Just tell us what the product does and move on. People who cannot be on time for anything. You are told to be somewhere at 2 PM. Now fine, 5 minutes late is cool, but how where? 2 to 3 hours just takes the mick? I remember a friend of a former friend of mine had to lie about the times just so their friend would be near to or on time. Their excuse? Not enough time to get ready. They were up at 8:30 in the morning, and that's not enough time when you've got to be there for a certain time in the afternoon. How? These types of people will be late for their own funerals. Sports personalities who bin their legacy for money. So we've all, or most of us, have heard of the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight that happened on Saturday just gone. Or Friday for some people. Well, I say fight. It was half wrestling and half huggy grab. Many people though thought AJ would bin it in favour of a fat payday. Thankfully he didn't and won, and also sent Jake Paul's jaw about a million inches to the other side of his face. However, some sports people in recent years or in the past have taken bribes to take dives or rig outcomes. This tarnishes both the person themselves and the reputation of the sport they represent. Why do it? You have a legacy. Protect your legacy and also the legacy of the sport that you're representing. Don't be an idiot. That's my groans made into a grown man ready to be knocked over in the morning. Moving us along, we've got a groan ball groan from Hayley T later when she chucks in her groan. Let us now play Gimme Da Question, Groaners, which is our first game of this week's episode. Round 1. Your answer is a year without summer. Your questions are: A. What name was given to the strange event in the UK in 1943 when there was no sun for a year? B. What name was given to the year of 1816 where volcanic ash from Mount Tambora caused global climate disruption leading to crop failures and famine? Or C. What name was given to the year 2023 in Mexico when they suffered skyquakes, and yes, that is a thing, and permanent cloud coverage? Pause here, groaners, have a little think, chuck your question in, and then unpause. Round 2. Your answer is the World Air Guitar Championship. Your questions are: A. What event is held in Finland to find the best air guitar player? B. What was supposed to be the background plot to Bill and Ted 3? Or C. What event have I just made up to throw you groaners off course? Pause here, groaners. Select what you think is the correct question and then unpause. Round 3. Your answer is Tasmania. Your questions are A. What was the home to the fictional Tasmanian devil? B. Where does it rain fish at a certain time of year thanks to water spout season? Or C. Where did, for no reason, 150 orca whales beach themselves? Pause your groaners, choose your correct question, and then unpause. The correct questions will be unveiled later on in the show, groaners. And now, we must drop everything and ask the age-old question of, why oh why? Is this a thing most lasses do? Why put your hand on your hip in your photo? Just stand normally, or put it behind you, or anywhere else apart from on your hip so your elbow sticks out. Thin or fat, you end up looking like a teapot. I know models do it, but break the habit yourself. It doesn't do you any good. Posing in odd ways in photos, I have to ask, why oh why? Just because a model does it doesn't mean you have to too. I may get a bit of heat for this, but before I do, let us invest in Admin Nicole's Creepy Corner, which is with your story for this week, which is called Who Am I? An earthquake shook, destroying everything in the room that Carla was in and knocking down the door. Robin picked up Cove as they watched the dust slowly clear from the room. Carla stood up from the table, the ropes destroyed from the blast. As the smoke cleared, Robin was quick to notice that it wasn't Carla. It was her, but not her. Her hair was longer than before and was now more of a copper colour. Her legs and ears were just as before, resembling the Caspian red deer she got her blessing from. Carla looked down at her hands, noting the butterfly tattoo on her right hand. It was an Alcan blue butterfly, along with a ring on her finger that wasn't there before. A bracelet of shells lay on her left hand. A cloak rested on her shoulders, with a black buckle depicting a type of armour-clad beetle. Clara herself knew something was different, new even. She was dressed completely different than before, and even her hair was different now. Her eyes were now mismatched, one a shade of green that resembled ivy, the other was a golden yellow, as if it was a gem found lost in the deserts. Cove wasn't sure what to think. In his eyes, it wasn't his mum, and yet it was. The matter was all the more confused by Robin holding on him tight. Robin couldn't shake off the look of confusion or shock on his face, and he didn't realise what it was doing to Cove. He held on to him tight, almost as if he didn't want him to go to Carla. Maybe he didn't even know who she was anymore, and if Robin didn't want to be near her, Cove wasn't sure if he should be either. Sean and Dawn assured them not to worry about the damages. It was no one's fault, and just the fact that Carla survived was enough. Dawn could remake all the potions, and Sean and Fawn would be able to handle the repairs. The real issue was what to do now. Carla continued to stand there as everyone looked at her, and she herself would do the same. A body she recognised, yet at the same time was completely foreign to her. Robin gave Cove to Dawn and asked her not to let him go. He then slowly approached Carla and asked her what happened. It was Carla. She was supposed to take control, take a part of everyone through with her, which she changed at the last minute. She wouldn't let us fade away. Not that we wanted to, but we all thought we had to. She stopped at the last second, and I think we all died, and yet didn't, she said. Robin wanted to smile, but he couldn't. This was exactly the kind of thing Carla would do. She never could leave anyone behind. Yet if she stopped herself taking control of the body last minute, then who was he actually talking to? He took a deep breath and asked Carla to simply tell him who he was actually talking to. If Carla changed everything last minute, then did she actually take control? Do you recognise me? Or Cove? Do you even recognise yourself? He asked. Carla nodded. She knew Robin and Cove. She knew all that happened from every version of herself. She told him the incident as Caroline was a mistake and not his fault. She told him all about the different sides of herself and all the memories she now had. She heard him over and over. She knew how much he was trying to save her, and she doesn't want him to feel guilty over any of it. She was no doubt not the first and not the last if the scientists continued to have their way. She wanted to make a stand and fight the ones who did that to her and all who came before. Yet Robin refused. He would do anything for her, and yet he had no intention to incite a war. All he wanted to do was find Carla and Cove a safe place to live on the surface while he still could, while he was still able to. He took Cove off Dawn and let him go to Carla, to make sure she really did know who he was. Cove looked at her in confusion as he tried to confirm it was still his mother that he was looking at. Carla smiled and picked them up. She was different now, yet as he tilted his head and asked if she was still his mama, all she could do was wrap her arms around him. Different, yet still the same. An adjustment for everyone, especially when no one knew what this truly even meant. It could even paint her as an even bigger target if the scientists ever found out what happened. Yet as she held Cove in her arms, she reached her hand over to Robin, and as she wiped the remaining dust off her face, she assured him she's not the girl he grew up with, but that girl isn't gone either. She's just so much more now. That's when she realised she couldn't keep being called Carla. She wasn't exactly her anymore, and she wasn't the other girls either. She was the very best part of all of them. Perhaps in some ways she got their flaws too. Only time would tell. Yet Carla's final choice allowed them all to live, with none of them in charge. Perhaps that's what created who she is now. Something familiar and yet entirely new. So she needed a new name, one that represented the here and now, but also what happened and all those she was born from. She chose Harmony, to honour the personalities and the split souls who rejoined and became one, creating her in the process. Thanks to Carla's final choice, no one had to die. Instead, the shards that gave them their own identity reunited to once again form a complete soul. Harmony wouldn't let that sacrifice ever go to waste. You know, in history, self-sacrifice allowed many to exist, aka the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. Yes, I did just borrow a line from Star Trek there, but meh. Acts of valour and bravery can do so much good in the world, especially if other lives are saved in the process. Well written, Nicole. Creepy time is over, for now. We play another game in the shape of talking nonsense. Round 1. This fizzy drink is made in Glasgow. Your nonsense is... Pause here, groaners. Have a think what the nonsense could be, and then unpause. Round 2. They can help you afford things, with others being generous. Your nonsense is... Pause again, groaners. Have a think what the nonsense could be, and then unpause. Round 3. It's a type of hat that can keep your head warm in winter. Your nonsense is... myth. Pause here, groaners. Have a think. Answer, then unpause. The gibberish will be spun to sense later on with the game answers, groaners. And whoa! I just took the groan thrown by Haley this week, who emailed hers in this week, and yes, of course it's time for the audience groan. I'm good at my job. I'm not big-headed, but I am. I work in an office in the Benton area, but enough said about that. I often find myself getting a lot more work than others, but having to take some off others to meet deadlines. This is completely unfair, and is no longer acceptable to me. I guess you could say my groan is someone expecting you to do more than your fair share of work. Well, Haley, you really should talk to management about that, or even higher than that. You mentioned who you worked for in the groan, but to save strife, I took that out. A good groan, nonetheless, and I hope you get your issue sorted out. But, like I said, Haley emailed hers in this week, but you can send yours in, not just your groans, your feedback, your ideas, anything you want to change in the show. You name it, we'll try and cover it. You can drop in an email to the groanzonepod at email.com, thegroanzonepod@gmail.com, the Facebook group on the Groanzone Podcast Facebook group. You can join on Discord. We're not live at the moment, but you can drop messages in there, have a look at past games, and everything else. Drop your game answers in there. Yes, you do things, many things on Discord, and you can find us under the Groan Zone Podcast. Or just the Groan Zone. I can't remember, but for the moment, just go with the Groan Zone. You'll find us. You can drop a Facebook message to either myself, that's Mystery Groaner, or Nicole Amos, who is admin Nicole. And lastly, you can drop a comment on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify. We are on so many platforms, we've lost track of them. But you put a comment down, drop us an email to say you've done that. We'll go and review it, and then hopefully we can use it on the show, or a future episode of the show. But now, groaners, we move on to a more strange and sort of creepy part of the show, where we merge, well, that's creepy, and what the again. In 2016, the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii created noticeable arcs as they spread out and interacted with the surrounding older floors and the coastline. This formed an unmistakable smiley face shape visible from the air. It's definitely a case of what the, but what makes it creepy for me is why should a volcano smile? Mother Nature, do you know something we don't? A smiling volcano. And why is it smiling upwards? Definitely creepy and definitely what the. But now, Groaners, the almost last game of the show with the 5-point countdown. Again, I'll give you all the clues in a quick succession and you pause at the end, Groaners, and have a think. You only get points where you guessed right and no, the points don't accumulate. So if you get the answer and you've guessed wrong but guessed correctly further down, so if you guessed right at 5, changed your mind at 4, but then guessed again at 2 and got it right, you'd get 2 points. You wouldn't get 7, right? Excellent. Finally, I got the explanation down pat. Yes! Right, here we go. Clue 5 for 5 points. They can be used around the world to help you power things. Clue 4 for 4 points. They are quite readily available and inexpensive. Clue 3 for 3 points. They are used because all countries have different applications for it. Clue 2 for 2 points. You can buy them in an airport or most department stores or electric stores. Clue 1 for 1 point. They are small enough to fit in your suitcase. The answer will come later, Groaners, when I give you the solution to this game. Now, I was torn this week for Zero and Hero of the Week because I can see 2 sides of why Google has done this. A lot of employers around the world use their work phone specifically for work, whilst others use them for personal and work use. Google has made it, just like Teams has, possible for employers to read your RCS chats despite these being end-to-end encrypted. On the Zero side, you could say this is a violation of privacy, but on the Hero side, since the device is essentially owned by the company they work for, it's in their interest to know if an employee is abusing their trust. Plus, if you have your own personal device, i.e. smartphone, laptop, etc., why not just use that instead of your work device for personal use? What do you think, Groaners? What side are you on? With that, are you on the Hero side or the Zero side? Drop us an email, let us know. And now, Groaners, the game answers for this week's episode. In reverse order, the 5-point countdown. I was looking for universal power adapter, but would have accepted power adapter. Talking nonsense. Round 1. Your nonsense was Iron Brew, one of my favourite drinks, although I do prefer Iron Brew Extra. Round 2. Your nonsense was vouchers, and yes, that is a very popular present at Christmas. I always love getting a good voucher, especially for Steam and other things, especially Amazon as well. Round 3. Your nonsense was thermal. Yes, I have a thermal hat, and I love it. Keeps my head warm when I'm outside, because right now I've got a short haircut. Just in time for winter. Gimme the question. Round 1. Your correct question was B. What name was given to the year of 1816 where volcanic ash from Mount Tambora caused global climate disruption leading to crop failures and famine? Round 2. Your correct question was A. What event is held in Finland to find the best air guitar player? I reckon I'd be brilliant at that. I really, really do. But then again, I could do the harmonica. Air harmonica. What am I thinking? Round 3. Your correct question was C. Where did, for no reason, 150 orca whales beach themselves? What a horrible thing to happen. I hope I managed to save some of them. Don't think I managed to get all saved, but at least some of them. And lastly, Admin Nicole's anagram anxiety solution from last week, which was carol singers. Again, something so obvious I couldn't see the jumble of letters. Got me again, Nicole. Well done to any groaner who scored points in any of the games and anyone who solved the anagram from last week. This brings us to almost the end of the show, but Admin Nicole has yet one more anagram anxiety for this week. Atheisms Crack is your anagram, and I've totally butchered that, so I'm going to spell it. Atheismscrack. Your clue, best eaten this time of year. Now I believe I've worked out part of this, Groaners. I may have, but I'm stumped for the rest. Good luck. On that note, Groaners, we sign off for another week. Next week is a Christmas special, which will be out either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, and then the week after will be the New Year's Eve special, which will be out on the 31st of December, just in time for New Year. Thanks for tuning in, Groaners. See you next week. Bye-bye. Changed everything last gave them their own identity reunited to once again form a breathe, boy, breathe.